Hi, everybody. I'm Bryan Mudd, a fan of South Plains politics. Here's your talking points for this week. Sure, changing the clocks twice a year around daylight savings can be annoying, but are you sure you want the legislature to make our time permanent? The real change could be more annoying than you think.
I'm Anna Warnicki in Washington. The U.S. is cracking down on countries that import Iranian oil. I'll tell you what that means for gas prices coming up.
From the studios of KMAC Television in Lubbock, your local election headquarters. This is Talking Points with Bryan Mudd, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Services.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Also this week, Election Day. As expected, voter turnout for the elections in the area was low again. But lots of school bond elections, infrastructure votes, and council elections that are really important for our communities. You can look for those results at everythinglubbock.com. The big one for folks in Lubbock County, of course, was the passage of the $99.6 million package to start work on the first phase of the long-awaited road improvements in the area, including upgrades to Woodrow Road here. It was a tough sell, another one for voters, after the problems with the Expo Center plan. Many folks had real questions on how it really would be paid for, but County Judge Curtis Parrish said on this show that it would happen without increasing property taxes, and there may be some state funds that could help. Property taxes usually go up to pay for those types of bonds, and with a total cost projected at $675 million, the Lubbock County Road project could eventually fall into a category which paying for would require an automatic election, assuming everything happening now in Austin goes through. The House passed its modified version of Senate Bill 2 this week. Lubbock Representative Dustin Burrows authoring the Texas Taxpayer Transparency Act, raising the election trigger for city and county governments to a 3.5% raise in revenue year to year, among other things. Burrows reminding folks this week of something we've talked about a lot on the show, that his bill won't lower property taxes, just give you more control over the growth, and would make it easier for you to get involved with the process.
Could you imagine if half of the 85% of people who showed up to protest their appraised value actually went to town hall to protest their taxes? It would be meaningful reform. This bill is designed and intended to do just that.
So now the conference committee does its work to try to come to a final deal on this. That'll happen quickly. So will a vote on a tax swap that state leaders said again Friday would actually lower your property taxes next year. You'll just pay a little more sales tax to cover the cost. All of that will happen next week. Don't know if they have the votes to make that happen yet. You may eventually vote on this. KMAC's Swift Rappaport caught up with Lubbock Representative John Frullo for his thoughts on how all these votes are coming together.
Well, I think it's, of course, a lot of them were along party lines, as Chairman Dutton made a joke that you heard about, but I think it's encouraging. It was one of the emergency items. It's a priority of the governor. It's, of course, it's a priority of anybody that owns property or I think lives in property. The costs have gone out of control, and we need to do things to start containing those costs and figuring out how people can get back to actually owning their home rather than leasing it from the government.
Pleased with the rewrite. That, you know, I know that there was. It starts out a couple of different versions, and then you kind of land on one final version after amendments and rewrites and things. So this version with the 3.5% trigger for the local governments, the hospital districts at 8%.
Right.
Is that? I mean, are you happy with that?
Well, I think that you know, happy is of course a relative term. I think, as you said, it starts out they had the same bill. They filed the same bill. The House, they being the House and the Senate. Each have come up with their own bill. They've made adjustments. Now there will be a conference committee set up between House members and the Senate members, and 5 from each side will get together, kind of pound out an agreement. Each of us will have to figure out if we are willing to live with it, vote yes, vote no, and then send that on to the governor. So I think it's, you know, we've made a lot of progress from where we were at the start of the year. We've made a lot of progress from where we were last session. So it's exciting, and I think we can start working towards that.
How important for you is the transparency of the appraisal process? I know that's part of the conversation.
I think part of it is the transparency, but it's also letting people know that it exists and what happens. People are so worried about certain parts, they need to be worried about the whole process. Not only what is my appraised value, but also what is the tax rate? How is it working? How much money does the local government need? And that's what we as taxpayers need to look at.
What do you want to see out of this school finance companion bill that is essentially, you know, that it's its own legislation, obviously, but there's so much tied into it?
Well, sure, they're all tied together, right.
So what do you want to see come out of that?
Well, I think we need something that's viable, and of course that's why they're tied together. One doesn't work without, HB 3 does not work without SB 2. It has to be in place. And so what we need to do is make sure that something works and we can accomplish what we want with education.
Anything else going on? What else is on the radar here?
I think that, you know, we're getting to the time of the year where we're staying late at night. A lot of bills are flying. It's a fun time to watch what's going on in the House and the Senate. I encourage people to let us know if they have issues, whether they support something, whether they don't support us. Let us know what you're thinking. That helps us out a lot. It helps us make our decisions when we're down here.
Representative Furlow mentioned that things happen fast and furious in Austin now with about 3 weeks or so to go in the legislative session. There are deadlines to hit there, and so many committee negotiations on that school funding part of this had to happen fast. KMAX West Rappaport's back now to explain why some are worrying that at least the Senate's part of this process is starting to move faster than it should.
This has been a grueling process, but it's worth it. I appreciate your vote.
An emotional Education Chairman Larry Taylor in a Senate committee hearing this week asking his colleagues to vote on a bill they largely haven't seen.
I'm reading stuff for the first time that is concerning to me, even the stuff that's here. Now, I do have to laugh that, you know, this bill was originally almost a shell, a blank bill, and there's still some blanks.
I just want to be sure as we move forward in this process that we have the opportunity to deliberate over those things that our educators aren't comfortable with, that families in our districts aren't comfortable with.
I apologize for having to do this at the pace we're doing, but based on the timing where we are in the session and what's going on with the House and changing some of our revenue sources for this, some of those bills have to start in the House, so we needed to get started to get this out to show them we have a bill that they need to help us fund.
Part of the urgency came from the leader of the Senate, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who tweeted about expediting the bill out of committee to get it to the floor, where it'll see a slew of amendments. And they'll need to make time for negotiations between the House and Senate versions.
The House is going to have some different opinions. We're going to have to work with that when it comes back.
The last day of session is May 27th. In Austin, Wes Rappaport, KMAC News.
Big week next week, Les. Let's do the this week's poll question. The House says yes on this, but the Lieutenant Governor said it won't get a vote in the Senate. We want to know if you believe Texas should lessen the penalties for people caught with an ounce or less of marijuana. Talk to us on our KMAC News Facebook page and on everythinglubbock.com. Click Talking Points. Give us your opinion. Coming up, why someone with LP&L will likely be knocking on your door very soon. Also, regulating the oil and gas industry in Texas is a big enough job, but Railroad Commissioner Ryan Sitton is adding something else we wish more elected leaders would do. He's giving back through a bit of leadership training. We'll have 5 good minutes with him to tell us all about that next on Talking Points.